Picture a massive rock in the ocean, but look closer. It's alive, built by billions of tiny animals, and it supports so much more life than you might ever guess. That's a coral reef, a city constructed organism by organism over centuries, and yet it's as vulnerable as it is complex. How do mere polyps, related to jellyfish, create such vast underwater worlds? Why are these structures, often less than 1% of the ocean floor, so essential that their disappearance threatens millions of people's livelihoods? And what happens if we lose them? Let's start in the shallows, in clear, sunlit waters. Here, coral reefs form when individual coral polyps, small, soft-bodied animals, secrete calcium carbonate and gradually build themselves into rigid exoskeletons. Over decades, centuries, and even millennia, the skeletons fuse together, creating underwater mountains. These reefs can stretch for hundreds to thousands of kilometers, like the Great Barrier Reef, visible even from space. Yet, at the heart of every bit of coral limestone, there's a living creature, no larger than the head of a pin. It's strange to think such tiny beings can outlast hurricanes, build landforms, or spark entire food chains. But they do, because of a partnership that unfolds on a microscopic level. Inside coral tissues, special algae, called zooxanthellae, live and work. The coral gives the algae a safe home and raw materials like carbon dioxide and waste nutrients. In exchange, the algae use sunlight to photosynthesize, turning sunlight into energy, food the coral uses to grow. This partnership is so productive that most reef building happens in usually unpromising, nutrient-poor waters. It's a perfect example of nature's ability to forge unlikely alliances. That relationship isn't just clever, it's essential. Lose the algae and the coral starves. Lose the coral, and you lose the structure that supports thousands of species. The entire community, fish, invertebrates, sponges, and mollusks, relies on the reef's fabric to shelter, hunt, breed, and survive. A passage from philosopher Lao Tzu says, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." Tao Te Ching, Chapter 64. Coral reefs, painstakingly slow in their construction, remind us of patient progress, of delicate, interdependent growth that cannot be rushed. Every inch is built polyp by polyp, year after year. In their patience, they've become the rainforests of the sea, teeming with life, storing secrets we only partly understand. Over 1/4 of all marine species may depend on reefs at some stage in their life cycle. Picture schools of darting, colorful fish, clownfish, parrotfish, butterfly fish, all sheltering among branches of coral. Camouflaged octopuses hide among waving polyps. Even predators like sharks and barracudas cruise along the reef edge. All these lives interlock, supported by the reef's three-dimensional maze, and the benefits extend above sea level. More than 500 million people depend on coral reefs for food, income, and coastal protection. In island nations, reefs buffer shorelines from powerful waves and tropical storms. They prevent coastal erosion that would otherwise swallow beaches, villages, and entire cities. At the same time, they support fisheries that feed local families and drive tourist economies worth billions of dollars each year. Reflecting on these facts, it's staggering to realize how much is at stake. In the words of poet Mary Oliver, instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. Mary Oliver, sometimes, if we pay attention to reefs, to their color, structure, fragility, we're astonished not only by their beauty, but by the web of life spun around them. And by sharing their story, perhaps we help protect them, not just for today's divers or islanders, but for generations who might never otherwise glimpse these living cathedrals. But just as reefs are wonders of evolution, they're now some of the most threatened habitats on Earth. Rising ocean temperatures can trigger coral bleaching, where stressed corals expel the algae that feed them. Without these algae, the corals turn white and, if bleaching persists, die. Then, the reef's whole community begins to unravel. Here's a reflection from Rachel Carson. In every curving beach, in every grain of sand, there is the story of the Earth. Carson, the edge of the sea. Every patch of coral tells a geological story spanning eras. Birth, growth, collapse, renewal. Today, that timeline is accelerating in disturbing ways. Besides warming, pollution turns water murky, blocking vital sunlight. Runoff carries nutrients that cause harmful algae to smother reefs. Overfishing breaks key links in the food chain, and the explosion of invasive species can overwhelm delicate balances. Global warming adds another threat: ocean acidification. As seawater absorbs more carbon dioxide, it grows less alkaline, dissolving the calcium carbonate skeletons that corals need to build up the reef. Construction slows, and in some places it reverses. Reefs erode faster than new coral can be laid down. Yet, in spite of the crisis, coral reefs are places of resilience and surprise. In some regions, coral populations are shifting, migrating to cooler waters. Efforts at reef restoration, growing coral in laboratories and transplanting it in the wild, offer hope. Marine protected areas and stricter fishing controls provide breathing room for reefs to recover and adapt. Walt Whitman once wrote, "I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journey work of the stars." Whitman, Leaves of Grass. In a similar sense, each coral polyp is a marvel, a summary of cosmic chemistry, neatly packaged into a fragile, luminous living stone. Explored under a microscope, corals reveal networks of stinging tentacles and symbiotic microorganisms, each tuned for survival. Explored up close by divers, the whole ecosystem comes alive, a world in miniature, alien yet surprisingly familiar. If reefs are lost, we lose much more than just animals or scenery. We lose medicine and science. Life on reefs has inspired novel compounds, antivirals, painkillers, anti-cancer agents, all drawn from underwater pharmacies we only partly understand. Corals themselves have been studied as records of past climate, storing secrets of rainfall and monsoons from centuries gone by. A passage from the Bhagavad Gita comes to mind. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give, in devotion, do that as an offering to me. Bhagavad Gita 9:27. It's a call to stewardship, the idea that our actions on land, at sea, in the marketplace, affect worlds we may never see. Reducing our carbon footprint, supporting sustainable seafood, learning about and advocating for coral reefs. These choices ripple outward, becoming offerings of protection to the living world. Reflect for a moment. Coral reefs are habitats for the bold, the colorful, the cryptic, and the rarely seen. They are evolutionary innovation at its most extravagant, a show of curves, textures, and colors honed by millions of years. Every moment spent protecting them extends that lineage into the future. The Irish poet Seamus Heaney wrote, "If you have the words, there's always a chance that you'll find the way." Heaney, the cure at Troy. So the words exist. The message is clear. Coral reefs matter because they are anchors for life, coastal guardians, pharmacies, and storytellers in stone. And yet, all their grandeur can be erased by a few degrees of warming, by a careless act, by neglect. To answer the question, how coral reefs work and why they matter, not only in scientific fact, but in heart and imagination. Coral reefs are engines of creation, monuments to patience, teachers of resilience, and reminders of the intricate connections that tie all life together. They need our understanding and our protection, not only because they are beautiful, but because they are irreplaceable threads in the fabric of the planet. The challenge is enormous, but every step, every piece of learning, is a kind of restoration, not only of reefs, but of our sense of belonging to the living world.